Good morning, grade 8. How's it going? I hope all of you are doing well. I'm Mrs. Christine, science teacher at Hussein International School. And today, let's revise our first lesson, which is flower. So here we go. Okay, so let's start. Flower structure and reproduction part of flower. So at the end of this session, you will be able to recognize the parts of the flower, identify the sex of the flower, identify how the pollination process happens, and revise how the fertilization in the flower occurs. So do you remember the 4 parts of flower? So I need to hear your voice today because it's revision. You know the answer, raise your hand. Yes, Fatma?
Yeah, we have stigma, we have ovule, we have egg inside the ovule.
We have 4.
We have
Wait. We have 4 main parts, okay? Word. We say it word or parts or levels, okay? In the flower.
Yeah.
From outside to inside. So let's start with this picture. From outside, which is green and protect the flower, called?
It's the petal.
Sepal.
No, not the petal. Sepal.
Sepal.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Sepal.
the colorful part called?
Yeah, this is the petal.
Petals, and then the sexual organ or 6 organs.
We have the anther and the stigma.
Anther and filament called stamen. So the male 6 organ called stamen, and the female called carpel. Carpel. Which formed from 3 parts: stigma, ovary, and ovule. Okay, thank you so much, Fatma. We revised together because it was the first lesson. So let's complete the revision, and I'll hear your voices, okay? Your answers. So it consists of 4 main layers: sepal, petal, stamen, and carpels. So what the meaning of flower? Short stem with leaves modified. So it was leaves. Each part for this flower was a leaf, but modified to make different parts of the flower. So the structure is the structure of typical flower. As we said, the structure for typical flower, which consists of 2 6 organs, male and female ones. So the first outer word called sepal, which is green leaves and protect the inner parts of flower, especially before blooming. And number 2, the second word, follow sepals after sepals called petals. And petals group of colorful and scented leaves. So its function to protect the reproductive organs and to attract insects too. To attract insects which help in reproduction process. So stamen, which is 3rd level or 3rd word, follow petals, and it's the male reproductive organ. And each stamen consists of 2 parts. As you can see here, we have first part called anther, and the second part, which is like filament, called filament 2, and these 2 parts which forming stamen. And the anther consists of 4 rooms, okay? And these 4 rooms consist of pollen grains, so it's called pollen sacs. The function of stamen, as we said, it produces pollen grains, which is male 6 gamete or cells. The 4th layer, which is carpel, and carpel is the female reproductive organ and looks like flask. And each carpel consists of swollen part from this part, which is swollen part called ovary, and connected with tube, which is style, and end with opening, and this opening called stigma. And this is the carpel or ovary from inside consists of many ovules here, not one ovule, okay? And the function of carpel produce ovules inside the ovary. And now quick check. What's the name of organ which produce female 6 cells? Okay, if you know the answer, raise your hands. Yes, Jomana. Yeah,
Is it the carpel?
the carpel, yes. Thank you so much. So, scarbel or ovary inside the carpel. Okay, so number 2, what's the name of organ which produce male sex cells? Okay, Perry. You are late,
Stamen.
Perry. Why you are late?
No, I'm not late.
Really? Okay, so what's the name of
Stamen.
organ? Stamen. Thank you so much. So, stamen or pollen sacs in stamen. And now complete. The colorful word is called, yes, in this picture called, I need you, Habiba. Habiba. Okay, Hala. Hala.
Miss, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
It's going to be petal, I think.
Petal, yes. So the colorful part called petals. Thank you so much, Habiba. Okay, number 2, complete. The green leaves in the first word are called the green
Petal.
leaves.
Sepal, sorry.
Sepal. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hala. Sepal. Okay, and now, as we said before, the sex of flower may be one of these 3. Male flower consists of anther and filament only, stamens only. Maybe female flower consists of carpel, and bisexual flower, which consists of, like typical flower, consists of 2 sexual organs, which are male and female. Okay, so this one's called unisex or unisexual flower, and this one called bisexual flower. Okay, so male, this sign for male, and this sign for female, and this sign for bisexual, and sometimes we say hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite. And reproduction in plants, like this picture. Who can describe this picture? Who can describe this picture and tell us how the reproduction happens in plants? Yes. No one? Guys, who can describe this picture? Starting from here, from the female, from carpel, what happens? After pollination, describe what the meaning of pollination, and then what happens? Fertilization. Just 2 processes, pollination and fertilization only. Yes, Perry. Our
Okay,
teacher,
can
yeah.
you hear me?
Yes.
So this is a bisexual flower, so it has both sex in them. So first, the flower, it's normal flower, the anther, the pollen from the anther goes to the stigma and pollinates it by air or by insects.
Yeah.
So it fertilizes the egg
tube.
and
First, let me
it makes a tube, and then
and this tube reaches
the
to the micropyle.
it passes through this tube and enters into the eggs to fertilize them.
Okay, so it's called.
And then we have a seed, a fertilized seed. So then the carpel, you said it somehow turns into a fruit, and the petals fall off, and it forms flesh and turns into a fruit. So then this fruit, when it's eaten or it falls into the ground, the seeds fall into the ground and they grow.
Well done. Thank you so much, Perry. Okay. Okay. So you can see or watch this video and back again.
In this video, we will be looking at sexual reproduction in plants. Did you know that there are an estimated 390,900 plant species known to science? This diversity of plant species is in part due to sexual reproduction. In plants, sexual reproduction is carried out in the flowers. The flowers contain the sexual organs. Let's start with labeling the different parts of a flower. The petals and the sepals help protect the flower bud and can be brightly colored or scented to attract pollinators. The stem and the receptacle are the parts that connect the flower to the rest of the plant. The stamen is the male part of the flower. It consists of the anther, where pollen is produced, and the filament, which is the stalk that supports the anther. These structures are responsible for the production and the positioning of pollen, the male gamete. The female part of the flower is called the carpel, and this consists of three parts: the stigma, a sticky landy for pollen, the style, where the pollen grain descends, and the ovary, where the female gametes or sex cells are located. Within the ovary, ovules produce female gametes. So how does pollination work? Pollination is a transfer of pollen from the male anther of one flower to the female stigma of another. Flowers can be pollinated in different ways, by wind and water, or by pollinators such as insects, birds, and other animals. Flowers pollinated by pollinators are structurally different from those pollinated by wind or water. Look at the differences in size, scent, and color of the petals, and the positioning of the stamen and style. Here are some key differences. Why do you think they are different? Did you know that pollinators are very important to our food supply? They pollinate plants that are responsible for bringing us 1 out of every 3 bites of food. Once a plant has been pollinated, fertilization can occur. Fertilization results in the production of seeds. A mature pollen grain containing 2 male sex cells has landed on the female stigma of the same species. The pollen grain grows a pollen tube that goes down the female style to the ovary, where it enters through an opening called the micropyle. The male sex cells travel from the pollen grain down to the pollen tube to the female ovule. Here, one male sex cell fuses with the female egg, fertilizing it. This develops into a seed. The other male sex cell attaches to 2 cells in the embryo sac, forming an endosperm. This provides the starchy food for the seed to grow. The ovary enlarges and becomes a fruit, surrounding the internal seeds. The fruit and seeds are dispersed in many ways, some even by humans, where they will again grow into a new plant under the correct conditions, completing the long cycle of sexual reproduction in plants. So there we have sexual reproduction in plants. Pollination has to happen before fertilization. The male pollen is produced in the anther, where it is then dispersed during pollination. The female parts of the flower are the stigma, style, and the ovary.
Please like and share our videos with your friends. If you have any questions.
So, back again. So, reproduction in plants, there are 2 steps. Number 1, pollination. When the pollen grain transferred makes self-pollination at the same flower, or cross-pollination from one flower to another, okay, different flower. And when this pollen grain attached to the sticky stigma, call this process pollination. So, pollination, transferring of pollen grains from the flower anthers to the stigma. And types of pollination, as we said, self-pollination, when pollen grains transfer from anther of a flower to stigmas of the same flower, and mix or cross-pollination, when pollen grain transfer from anther of flower to stigma of another plant of the same kind, must be the same kind. So now pollen grains transfer to stigma by 2 ways, by air or wind, okay, It takes place in the flower which have hanged anther, long anther, okay, hanged, to be easily opened by air, and feathery-like stigma. And pollen grains transfer to stigma by, number 2, by insects or called pollinators. And it takes place in flowers which have colorful petals to attract the insect. Number 2, after pollination, fertilization. In this process, as you watch in the video, and like this picture too, pollen grain, okay, has 2 nuclei and make like pollen tubes which reach to the egg by opening called micropyle here, okay? And one of these pollen nuclei fertilize the egg which is inside and make the seeds later. And then the second one make the food storage for feeding this egg. And then ovary turns to flesh or fruits. So what the meaning of fertilization? The process of fusion of the nucleus of the male cell pollen grain with the nucleus of female cell to form zygotes. Okay, ovary has 1 ovule, gives a fruit with single seed. So each single seed inside 1 fruit means single seed, so 1 ovule. Okay, this flower or this carpel was containing 1 ovule, so we saw single seed, like olive, like peach. And ovary has many ovules, will give us fruit with many seeds, like bean, like pea, okay, like apple too, grape. Okay, and now we finish our lesson and we revise each part. We knew the parts of the flower, the sex of flower, how pollination process happens, and how the fertilization of flower. Okay, so let's revise again. What are the parts of the flower? You can raise your hands. We have time, guys. So, Fatma.
So the main 4 parts of the flower are petal, septal first, and then petal, and then carpel and stamen.
Okay, you corrected now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, second one, identify the sex of flower. How many sex for flower? Yes. Jumena.
We have 2, the male and female. The male is stamen and the female is carpel.
Okay, so the flower, the sex of flower may be unisexual, male or female, or bisexual hermaphrodite, male and female together, okay? To complete our answer. Thank you so much, Jumena. And now how pollination process happen? What about pollination? We can describe the pollination process. Okay, Fatma and Jumena too. I need new ones. So Hala. Hala, are you ready to answer? Hala? Hala?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So what
Okay.
about pollination?
Pollination?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's the process of how
Yes.
I forgot its name. Miss,
No
can
problem.
you get back to me?
Okay, no problem. Okay, so Fatma?
So it's the process in which pollen transfers from one flower to another, or in the same flower.
So it's taken from
Either
its
by
name.
wind or answer.
Okay, thank you. So it's taken from its name. Pollination comes from pollen grains. So pollination, the process in which pollen grains transfer from the stamen to carpel, to stigma of the carpel, okay? And the same flower, or cross-pollination to different flower, okay? To remember it, pollination comes from pollen grains. Okay. Hala, now you are ready? Hala.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Back again. Okay. So, what do you mean of pollination?
Pollination, it's how the pollen transfer from the male, like from the male
Stamen
flower to the female. Yeah,
to the stigma
of the female flower.
the female. Okay, thank you so much. And now fertilization. What do you mean of fertilization simply? Habiba? Habib. Yes.
Okay.
What do you mean of fertilization simply?
Okay, it happens when the nucleus of the male sex cell fuses with the nucleus of the female sex cell, produces seeds.
Produces seeds, and it's called zygote. Okay?
Yeah.
Before seed, forming zygote. Okay, thank you so much, Habiba. Right answer. Okay, so race to the end of our session. Thank you so much. And please, if you didn't do your homework, you can do. It was preparing section 1 Mendel and his piece. So you can complete your assignment. And thanks for watching. And don't go without watching this video. It's very important. And keep safe, stay home, and see you soon. Miss you so much. Bye.
Nope.